Hi, I'm Anita and welcome to my kitchen. I want to thank my guests for coming today. I've already given them their homemade throwback popcorn, old school popcorn. Do it on the stove, lots of nice fresh butter. Today we're going to put a little south in your mouth because we're going to make corn and shrimp bisque. I'm going to start chopping some stuff, but while I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you who taught me how to make this. My husband and I went to a Cajun Fest in Amana, Iowa. I know, go figure, Amana, Iowa for a Cajun festival, but it was one of the best things. And they always have people there. They would teach you how to cook something. And this chef was from Tony Sachery, the seasoning. And he was teaching how to make, so I'm like scribbling down as fast as I can. He wasn't giving me exact amounts. You know, it's one of these, bisque is one of these things that you can put together in about half an hour and it's ready to eat. It's not something, a soup that you can have to sit and cook for a long time. So it's got, of course it has shrimp in it. It's got cream, half and half. It has garlic, celery, onions, you know, the normal stuff. It's got some fresh corn. You could use canned corn. You could use frozen corn. I don't think that would be a problem. So we're going to take, I have a medium onion already cut up, chopped up, and we're going to get that going in a little butter over here. Get that cooking. This is all a one pot deal. That's just a couple of tablespoons of butter. And we're going to throw in our onions. And we're going to throw in our celery. That was just 3 stalks of celery. I can hear it sizzling already. Okay. So I'm going to get some potatoes. All I've done is, this was about 4 medium-sized potatoes, and they're just cut up in really small, bite-sized pieces. And I'm going to get those cooking. So when I said this was one pot, I just lied, right? So we had a trip recently to Louisiana, and I brought back shrimp. I brought back 40 pounds of shrimp and had a big shrimp boil. Well, I saved some. And so when you're taking and peeling your shrimp, all your flavor is in the head. That's why I like it to get it with the heads on, because when you have a shrimp boil, that's where all that flavor comes from. And you just pinch the tail a little bit, and it just pushes. Once you peel all this off, you just pinch the bottom, and it just pops right off. So you don't have to have anything fancy to devein. I just use a fork. You know, some people have that long little plastic thing, and I just stick it in one tine in there and just kind of peel up a little bit, and it just opens it up, and then you can peel that vein right out of there. And then we're just going to cut these up. Now, I've used, and I have leftover shrimp from my shrimp boil that I peeled and then put in the freezer. So you can have this stuff already done and just throw it together. You wouldn't have to do all this. So I'm going to wash these off, because I'm going to put some of both in, the fresh and the already cooked. So you could do either. A little shrimp there on the floor. Wipe this off. I'm going to flip this over. So I'm going to chop my garlic up. I'm going to do about 3 cloves here of garlic. As far as I'm concerned, you can't have too much garlic. If you press down on your garlic clove, kind of smashes and they won't roll around. I love the smell of fresh garlic. You want to put your garlic in last because if it goes in too early, it can burn easily. When you're chopping stuff like this small, it's good to start from the outside and work your way in. That way it doesn't end up all over your counter. Well, that's good. And let me give this a little stir here. Can you smell it already?
Yeah.
That's one of the best smells is onions and garlic cooking. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So this is going to go ahead and go in. We're just kind of getting this to a translucent phase, you know, just kind of clear, because it's not going to cook that long. Yummy. Okay, so why wouldn't the shrimp share his treasure? He was shellfish. I know, that's so bad. That's one of my grandson's probably really bad puns. This is going to have corn. I'm using fresh corn, but again, I've used already cooked corn and taken it off. Okay, here's a little, put this in a bowl.
Now you haven't cooked yet?
This is not cooked yet,
Okay.
no. So, I'm just going to, just so it sits a little bit better. So I'm just going to go, and if you put, I have another little bowl in here to set that on so all the corn falls down around and not all over the place. What'd you say?
I said I feel like I should be taking notes.
Yes,
I'm learning
yes,
all
yes.
these little techniques to use in the kitchen that I don't know about.
Are you going to cook? Okay.
Well, if you come visit me, I will.
Okay, I will do that. So, I was getting stuff ready last night for this, and she said, I said, we were talking about my grandma. My cousin is here, and we were talking about our grandma, and I said, you know, she used to make the best homemade potato chips. She goes, oh, love homemade potato chips. She goes, I said, I made some, and she goes, oh, make me some. I go, okay. So I made a whole bunch. I used, I don't know, 7, 8 potatoes, and we scarfed them down. So I'm getting stuff ready for this for today. And I'm going, oh, I don't have any potatoes for the bisque. It's like, oops. But I did find some in the refrigerator that I still had. We're going to do 4 ears of corn. We don't want that in there. So does anybody know what bisque is? What the definition of bisque?
Thick soup. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. So I Google it only because I always thought it was specifically what the chef from Tony Chachere's told us was that it's always a cream base soup. It's so it's a thickened cream base, and usually always shellfish. But you go into restaurants and you'll see they'll have like quail bisque or, you know, something. And so they're taking, you know, poetic license, you know, on that. And so restaurants can charge you more for something that says bisque instead of soup. It sounds much nicer, right?
That is so fancy.
It's a fancy schmancy word. It's kind of a pretty word. Not bad. Okay, let's check this over here. Okay, I'm going to turn that down. I'm going to get my corn in there. that's in. We're going to take 2 things of half and half. I've used cream because I've had it left over. Say, you know, so if you're just trying to get rid of some cream, use that.
What about whole milk?
You could use whole milk because we're going to thicken it anyway. You could use it. It calls for, it's a creamier consistency.
So do you think if you had somebody who can't have their lactose intolerant, maybe using like an almond milk, would that not
I've
work?
never actually had almond milk. Does it have a sweeter flavor to
If
it?
you get the unsweetened, it would be fine, I think, maybe.
I'll bet you could.
Okay.
There's certainly not any rules on that it has to be. It's just going to be more, it's a milk base, and with what we're going to thicken it with, it's, you know, there's different ways of thickening your soup. You can make a roux, which is flour, you know, equal parts of flour and oil, or butter, or shortening, whatever you're going to use. And depending on the color you want, how long you cook that roux, because you want to cook the flour flavor out. So if you're, you know, gluten-free, you wouldn't be able to do that. You could use a, you know, like a rice flour or something like that if you wanted to thicken it. You could also use a cornstarch, but we're going to use instant mashed potatoes. I use those to thicken my potato soup after my potatoes have cooked. Works fabulous, absolutely fabulous, and it adds you know, it adds that a little more of a flavor to it. So we are going to. I'm just going to cut these up a little bit more, and I'll see if you guys can tell the difference between the fresh shrimp and the shrimp that's already cooked. And it was just cooked in, you know, it was cooked in the crab boil. I'm just going to cut these in half so you'll be able to tell the difference. You looked like you had a question.
I lost it.
You lost it? I hate when that happens. It's like right in the middle. It's gone. Gone, gone, gone.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So those look more gray
Mm-hmm.
than what I've seen in the store.
Mm-hmm.
So those are like more pink or salmon color. What's the difference?
There's, depends on where you got them from. These are really fresh. And once shrimp are out of the water and out of cold, they start turning a gray color. So that could have something to do. Once you put them in water and you're cooking them, they're gonna pink up. They're gonna look like this. So that's what they're gonna look like. That's what you're used to seeing. So these are probably a white shrimp what I bought. You know, there's different colors of shrimp. There's green, but they're all gonna look the same once they're cooked.
But do they have different tastes then?
I've never tasted a difference. I'm sure if you tried them, lined them up, and tried them, you might be able to tell a difference. But I haven't myself done a taste test that way. So I keep taking my knife in and out. You'll volunteer for that one?
I like shrimp.
We're gonna cut up a little parsley here.
Did you grow that parsley?
I did not grow that parsley. I don't have luck with, there's certain things I can grow and certain things I can't. Parsley has not been one of them. I don't know what the deal is. It's sad. I don't have a green thumb.
Parsley challenge.
I am parsley and cilantro challenged. Now, I do, yes it is, it's hard. I can do basil and my chives and mint, not a problem. Oh, and I was supposed to tell everybody, yes, Mom, I washed my vegetables first. I have to say that. Okay, that's ready. Let's go back here and see what's going on. Cooking away. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put a little Cajun seasoning in. I'm just gonna start out with, oh, this is only about a teaspoon. Get that in there so that cooks, that'll cook in. Our potatoes are cooking. And this was such an odd thing that I saw him do, but he put a couple of cups of shredded Swiss cheese in right at the end. You finish it with that. You know, you put your shrimp in right towards the end so it cooks real fast. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put some Swiss cheese. It shreds better if it's cold, but I let it sit out for about half an hour, so it's kind of room temperature. You could use already pre-shredded, but if you need to be gluten-free, you shouldn't use shredded, pre-bought shredded cheese because they use an anti-clumping agent to keep it from shredding back together, or from clumping back together. So if you have somebody who is sensitive to those things, you know, and you need to watch even in spices, there's those anti-clumping agents in there. So that's ready. That's going to go at the end. All we have to do is wait for it to cook a little bit. Okay, so my bisque has been cooking for about 10-15 minutes now, and my potatoes are done. They're just fork tender. So I drained them, and I'm just going to toss those in. And you're going to want to, any kind of cream soup, you're going to want to stir periodically because cream will start to stick and burn on the bottom of your pan. And that's not good to eat. So you can see how thin this is, but it's going to be much thicker once we put in all the other stuff. So basically, I'm waiting for the celery to be tender. And I almost like it a little more, not mushy, where it has a little bit of a crunch to it. So we are getting close. I just threw some crusty bread in the oven. Perfect to serve with that. Now I do this in the summertime. My mom says she can eat soup every day of the week if she. I have to give a shout out to my mom.
I started doing what Grandma does.
What is?
Eat soup at lunchtime.
Eat soup
in the summer.
Yeah. You know, and there's nice soups, you know, that are not heavy, like a cream soup, you know, more, you know, like chicken noodle or, you know, vegetable soup. It's not any different than eating a hot sandwich or a hot meal. Okay. Let's put our shrimp in. We're going to do about 2 pounds of shrimp. So there's my already cooked shrimp. Let's see if we can do this without splashing it all over me.
That's a lot of shrimp.
You want shrimp, right? And the shrimp, it only takes a few minutes to cook. So you can just throw it in right towards the end. I almost need a bigger pot here. This is going to be full by the end. I should have did my bigger pot. You know, you start out with just those 2 things of cream and you think, oh, that's not going to be enough. And once you get everything else in here, yep.
Is the corn in there already?
Yeah, I put the corn in. Right when I was sauteing the onions and the celery. So I'm going to give it a little taste to see if I need to put any more seasoning in. Ooh, I think I need just a little bit more.
So
I can-
Anita, what exactly is in the Cajun seasoning?
Okay. You know, everyone is different. I know there's always garlic in it. Paprika. Yep, paprika, dried red peppers. Yeah, all of them are different, but you need to read the ingredients, especially if you have an allergy to one or another. But yeah, and they are spicy, but there's some that are not so spicy.
Have you ever made your own Cajun
Yes,
spice?
I have.
You do?
Uh-huh,
Okay.
I have. But I have so much that people have given me, you know, so I haven't done that recently. Yeah, I like to make my own mixes. I make my own taco seasoning mixes.
When are we having tacos? When will we be doing that show?
Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out your schedule, and
Maybe over winter break.
I know I do. I like taking leftover taco meat and then just making the big ginormous nachos. Oh,
That'll work.
okay. All right. Well, there's another show. Put it on the list.
You guys would come, right?
Put it on the list.
Tortilla chips.
Oh, I'm gonna need this.
Yum.
I'm gonna leave this here because I'm gonna have to cut the bread up. Parsley everywhere. I'm gonna throw the parsley in. I'm not gonna use all of that. Let that cook down. If you think that you have too much, not enough broth, you can always add some milk to it. You know, like if your soup is too thick at some point, you know, because sometimes once you put it in the refrigerator, it will thicken up and it doesn't thin back out. Just throw a little milk in it and thin it out. All right. We're going to put the mashed potatoes, the instant mashed potatoes in. And I'm starting out with 2 cups, but I know I'm not going to put all of it in there. The corn, you know, is kind of a natural thickening. And the potato is a natural thickening. I like using the flakes instead of like the little potato buds because these will dissolve faster and it will thicken faster. Okay, maybe I lied. Maybe I will use all of it. I'm such a liar. I don't know what I'm doing. There it goes. Yeah. Okay, so you only want to put a little bit at a time because then you'll get the consistency that you want. It's easier to put some in and then take it out. Even though it says instant, it's not instantaneous. Okay, so I did put all of it in there. And that's all I'm going to put. I'm just going to let that cook for a minute. And, ooh, hot. Can you see the difference in, you know, now it's sticking to the spoon and not just running straight off. Yummy. Okay, I'm shutting it off, and I'm going to move it over here to the, oh my word, that's heavy. I hope y'all are hungry.
Oh, yes.
Are you gonna put the cheese in?
I am. I'm going to put the cheese in right now.
Good. I love cheese.
You want to do this a little bit at a time too. or you're gonna end up with a big clump.
Cause that'll help thicken it too somewhat, right?
Yep, it will. This just adds a little sharp, nutty flavor to it it's just so different from anything I've ever had before. And when we were at that festival, I came home right away and made it so that I could remember it. And then I had to write it down.
So I was gonna ask you, do you have these recipes written down that you can pass on to your
Yes.
lovely daughter and or your grandchildren?
Yes, they have to come over in here and this chunk that I did was like 3/4 of a pound, and I'm not going to put all of that in there.
Anita's Kitchen Cookbook.
Anita's Kitchen Cookbook
I think you have to
from my
try
old,
this.
yeah, from the old show and from the new.
I'd love to try to make this.
It's so easy. It really is easy. So at this point, I really want to thank my sponsors for this show, Northleaf Winery. They were here a few shows ago, and they sponsored a few more shows. And my granite guy, the granite house, Michael, came and did my granite tops. I love them. I love the sink too. I got a new sink, and it's deep. I let him pick it out because I couldn't find one I like. I go, yeah, just give me. I want 2 equal sinks. You know, two separate. Because the one I had a little small one, and then a bigger one. It's like that small one's useless. So I said, yeah, just get one. So it's so much deeper. I can put so many dishes in there. It's ridiculous. Okay, this is done. Yeah, I know. It's killing you, isn't it? It's killing you. So little bread out of the oven. You're ready. You're like, yeah, everybody's got their spoons in their hands. See, then you can come back and get soup and pass soup out to everybody. Soup. I keep calling it soup. It's bisque. Hoity-toity, lottie-dotty, right?
Yes, they can charge more.
I can charge more now.
I was gonna ask you how much you're charging us for this.
Yes.
Oh, it looks delicious.
I love the smell of this. How many more do I need to do? You're at 1. Okay. Okay. All right, and the bread's over there. All righty, let's eat. I want to thank you for joining me today. I want you to step out of your comfort zone. Try something new. Corn and shrimp bisque, fabulous any time of the year. Thanks to my guests for coming. I appreciate it. I know it's tough to come and just sit and then get to eat, right? So thank you for coming. Thanks to my sponsors. Teach a child how to cook something. That way he can take care of himself and maybe you later on in life. Thank you. Okay, dig in.